Look at this, we have a very special Amazon box that is not from Amazon. I'm gonna open it up and show you what sort of magic things are in here today. Ooh. We have a mirror, a bulb, a heart, what? And another bulb. I think that's it. This is what we got. Illumaesthetic GD0405 Infinity Heart, packed by Fabian. Shout out to Fabian. And of course we have, oh, I'm gonna use this on my car. It's pink, it's going with the whole black and pink theme. I'm gonna use that. I think that's it. So if you never heard of Illumaesthetic before, they make custom tail lights. Yes, custom tail lights. So we are putting their Infinity Hearts into the STI and it's gonna look beautiful. So what do we get? The Infinity Hearts, well, we get 2 sets of hearts. There's 2 of them, you can't really tell, but there's 2, they're stacked up on each other. 2 LED bulbs, and of course, the mirrors for the infinity effect. There's 4 mirrors, 2 for each side. It also means we get to cut open the taillights today. I'm gonna drop those mirrors. But it means we get to cut open the taillights today, so that is what we are doing in this video. We're cutting open our taillights, installing some Infinity Hearts with some brand new red bulbs. I hear Swave's car here. But first, before we do that, we're gonna do some work on Swave's car, but that's gonna be in the other video. But yeah, we're making 2 videos out of 1 today. So that's the plan. Work on Swave's car, cut open the taillights, and install the Illumaesthetic Infinity Hearts. And of course, all that's gonna be recorded, so let's get to it. Now, obviously, if you're gonna work on your taillights, you gotta get them off first. If you're gonna pull them apart, you can't pull them apart when they're on the car. The first thing we're gonna do, rip the taillights off, and then the cutting begins. I'm not gonna show myself taking the taillights off, because that's just, if you know how to do it, it's literally just like 4 or 5 nuts behind the trunk lining, and they'll just pop right out. All right, so once you actually get the taillight off, you have 1, see right there, 2 right there, 3's down here, and the 4th screw you gotta take off is right behind the foam. So just get a Phillips head, or in this case, we're gonna cheat, little impact, take them off, and then you're ready to start cutting, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm really scared to do, but we're gonna do it. All right, you see these little washers on the very end of the screws? Try not to lose those. They might be stuck to the taillight. A couple of mine were stuck to the taillight, but I just pried them off with the edge of the screw. And keep them on there. You don't want to lose these. So to cut these puppies open, I'm going to use my Dremel, right? I'm going to use the Dremel, but I also got these little steel wheels from Harbor Freight. They're like $6 or something, or with $10, I think, I don't remember. But I'm probably going to try to use the smallest one. I'll let you know, obviously, what size I end up using, but I might use one of the smaller ones. That way I don't cut too far deep and into the chrome little housing itself, which you'll see when I take them apart. But I'm gonna try to use the smallest one possible so we can just stay cautious. We don't want to break anything. Remember that. We don't want to break our taillights. I'm gonna start by saying I'm scared shitless to do this because these taillights, while they're not really super expensive, they're still pricey and you don't want to lose money, you know? But the only way I learned how to do things personally is by doing it myself. So what we're gonna do, according to Illumaesthetic, this is what you want to do. Cut on the very, very edge, and the very lip as much as you can. When you get to right here, I think they said go out, and then go around this, but just still stay as close to the lip as you possibly can. So that's what we're gonna do. And then for the foam part, you just go between the foam, like right, stick your blade right between there, and that's the plan. Stay as close to the lip as we can, and hope for the best. Let's do this. Don't forget your safety glasses, because you want to be safe. You don't want to get plastic in your eye, and you don't want to lose an eyeball. Okay, so I thought I got big brain and plugged my camera in while I was recording, which works, but it still stopped recording on me and I have no idea why. But in total, it took me about 10 minutes to cut this thing, cut it completely, and then pull the lens off. So 10 minutes total. That clip was about 4 minutes long, and I was already a little over halfway through, I think. And this took me 10 minutes. Just take your sweet time, especially when you're prying this out. You do not want to break this. Just be very, very careful. But other than that, I just gotta pop this thing off. I'll show you how this pops off. Watch. If I can find my small flathead. So I just pushed in the little tab right here. See a little tab right there? I don't know if you can see it on camera. Hold up. Okay, so there is a little tab right there. Stick a screwdriver in there, and this thing should just pop right off. I think that's one I used. I don't know, but it just went flying off last time. I don't want to repeat that again. Let's see. See? There you go. Just use that one hole. There's like 4 prongs, but you don't know 3 prongs, but you only need to use one of them. Just put your screwdriver in, push it gently, and it'll pop right out. First headlight probably took like 15 minutes to cut apart, not gonna lie, because I really didn't know what I was doing. I've used the Dremel plenty of times, but I've never cut open a taillight. It's literally my first time doing taillights. So I was like, okay, let's see how the taillight reacts to the little saw blade I was using, because the cutting wheels, different materials respond differently to different cutting wheels that you're using. And it's my first time using these saw cutting wheels and cutting open taillights. So the first one, it didn't come out as well as the second one did. Like, the first one still came out alright, but the second one came out so much better. So much better. So next time I cut taillights open, I guess I'll know what I'm doing. But for now, we're going to put the infinity mirrors in the heart and see how it looks before we actually start sealing everything together. So the mirrors, obviously they come, I was talking about Illumaesthetic's packaging, dude, they come nice and bubble wrapped. So I can cut these open without cutting myself. I think from what I remember, it says you put the small mirror in first. So we'll put the small mirror on, followed by the big mirrors on top, and see how it looks. So here's the setup. Let me grab this small mirror first. I don't really want to unwrap it already, but I'm going to have to. We'll just put this mirror on top, just like that. I think that's what they did, just put that one right on top. And the big mirror right on top of that one. Alright, well, let's put it on the car now, see how it looks. And that is the infinity effect. Okay, the one thing my one complaint about the infinity effect, it looks good. Let me see, I'll turn the light off real quick. Looks pretty good. Until your first mirror falls off. Looks really cool. I don't know why you guys could see that. Obviously I gotta hold the mirror up and stuff while I do this. It's a trip. Look at the red reflector on it. It looks cool. Don't get me wrong, it does look cool. I like the infinity effect. The problem, let's talk about the issue. Here's my issue with the infinity effect that I just noticed. Illumaesthetic says this in their video, if you watch their Infinity Star video, that the difference between diffused and like the infinity tunnel would be that the diffused is slightly dimmer. And when they say slightly, it's a lot dimmer. Like a lot dimmer to the point where it almost looks like I have tint over my taillights. It's pretty dark. Like even with the lights off, it's pretty fucking dark. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like I like the way the infinity looks though. It does look pretty good. But I think I'm just going to stick to the regular diffused hearts just like I originally wanted because it's really bright and it looks really good. So I'll probably just stick with that. Up to you. You have your own personal preference, you know, like everyone does. Like I said, I bought the infinity set because I wanted just the diffused heart itself. And I just, it was a lot darker with the infinity setup than I thought it was going to be. So I don't feel comfortable running it that much. I mean, it's going to, keep in mind, I'm going to be using these at nighttime because they are just my runner lights. But it's really dark. Like, it's really, really dark. So I'm just going to stick to the diffused heart. You know, it's all personal preference. This is what I want. So let's get to siliconing the diffused heart into the housing itself. I'll show you how I do that. And we'll move on to putting these puppies back together, and that'll be it. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this regular black RTV silicone sealant. So they recommend just putting it on the edges of the thing because obviously we don't want it to seep through. And since I'm not using the mirrors, I'm not too worried about making a mess. I don't think I will. I'm just gonna put a little bit. It sticks in there pretty well already. It's a really snug fit in the housing, which is a good thing to me. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, probably on the top and a little bit on the bottom, and just stick it in there. And whatever seeps through, I'm gonna wipe it off while it's still wet, and then that'll be it. I think that's about it. So I'm literally just gonna get a little bit, just like stick it on top right here. Focus camera, come on. Look, you can see the light really coming through that already. There's just the light from in here that's shining through the diffused heart. Like, it looks like it's glowing. That's pretty sick. But I'm just gonna stick a little bit on here, just a little bit. I don't want to put too much. And just like that, and I'm gonna smear it with my finger right now, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bottom. Just a tiny bit. Because like I said, it feels like it's sticking pretty well already, even without silicone. Like it's in there pretty firm, but I don't want to risk it. Knowing my luck, it'll just come loose and I'll have to pull my whole taillights apart again, which I really don't want to do. So see this? I'm just gonna smooth this out a little bit. Hopefully not make too much of a mess. And since this diffused heart, it's black, I'm using black silicone, obviously. Because even if it seeps through a little bit on the back, you won't be able to see it. I'll just smear this a little bit. And whatever leaks onto the reflector housing, I'll just clean that off. Okay, so there's that. Wipe my finger off. And now I want this to be straight in here, so I'm just gonna stick this in here and hope for the best. This thing's tack free in an hour. So I'll just let this sit for an hour, and then in the meantime, I'm probably gonna start resealing everything. Like, I'll put this on the car. Well, I'll put this back into the housing, to the lens itself, and start putting the headlights back together with the butyl. And then I won't stick it into the oven and probably till tomorrow. So it's nice and sealed. And I know on the first one I'm gonna have to cover up some holes because I did like kind of go off course on my line when I was cutting it open. That's fine. The second one's cool, so I'm not really too worried. All right, looks good to me. Tell me if that's straight. Does that look straight? It looks pretty straight. That's gonna be sick though. Fun fact, it is actually the next day and we are finally gonna reseal the taillights. It is Friday, finally. Cats going crazy, look at them. Oh, too late, they broke up. They were kind of going at each other, just messing around. But it is Friday. I was actually cutting everything apart on Thursday. It's time to reseal finally. And I brought everything upstairs because I'm gonna be putting these taillights in the oven. Let me show you why. My plan is to reseal them using butyl. You know what butyl I use for headlights? I kind of want to reseal my taillights with this in case I ever want to open them up again. It'll be fairly easy, right? So I have had this roll for a while. This is what we used on, I think what we did Monique was the headlights on her Ninja. I'll put the link. I'll put the little, the little card thingy right there in the corner if you want to check that out. I think pretty sure that's when we did that, and we had a mishap on that, and that was a 2-part video because that was an adventure. But I still have some 3M window weld left over, which is butyl. So I'm gonna put it around the edges of the taillight, show you guys how I do that, and hope this works. But first we gotta put the reflector back into the red lens very carefully. And before I do that, I'm gonna wipe out my red lens, make sure there's no dust or anything in there. Pop the piece in and hope we can do this correctly. Okay, that was a little more difficult than I thought, mainly because I had to slide, you have to get it under the lips. That's why Illumaesthetic says the closer you cut to the lip, the easier it is. And so since I cut pretty close, but I left a small little gap, so I had to slide it under this side first. I slid it under here first, into the corner, stuffed this bottom part in and the top part in, and then I just pressed down right here on this top piece, and it just slid right under the little lip, and now it's on there. Alright, so I put a whole seam of butyl around the whole thing. And I know a lot of people use silicone and stuff and RTV, but like I said, I might pull these apart again in the future to add more stuff to it from Illumaesthetic. I really just wanted the hearts for now. So I'm gonna use butyl. That way when I go to pull them open again, I can literally just put these in the oven and just pop them open like they were headlights. I don't know if this is gonna work very well. Butyl's already pretty sticky to begin with though, so it's sticking on the seam pretty damn good. So what I'm gonna do is put this together, put in Kitty. Here, Kitty, meow. He's mad because I'm not getting attention right now. I'm sorry, Kitty. So I'm gonna put these together, slap them in the oven for 7 minutes or so at 225 degrees. Pull them out and clamp them down. And while they're in the oven, I'm gonna go downstairs and grab the clamps real quick, and I will clamp them down when they get out and hope for the best. And if there's any cracks that I missed, if I messed up my cutting, then I'll just fill that in with silicone to make it easy. So when I go back to pull them open, that part won't come apart. So as you can see, look at, I sealed them up, and I put like a thick enough layer to the point where that when I squeeze them together, some butyl would still be sticking out on the top. Oh, sorry, oven's done. So I put a layer, like a thick enough layer to like have some butyl sticking out the top still. That way, when it actually heats up and gets all gooey, there's still a layer going around the top of it. So hopefully no water gets in. This is literally my first time doing taillights, so I hope this works. This is just my idea. Like I said, everyone's probably gonna have a different idea, but this is the way I chose to do it. So Illumaesthetic did say you could use butyl, and they didn't, honestly, they didn't specify how you use it, but hey, let's just try it, you know? Why not? Could make life easy for the future in case I actually start doing more taillights and stuff, which I wouldn't mind doing. This is actually pretty fun. I just, obviously, I need to practice more cutting, but when Swave gets his taillights, you know, I'll be cutting his taillights open, so there's some free practice for me right there, shit. Now I'm going to put this in the oven, go grab the screwdriver to put the screws in. Unless I have them right here. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. And let me put the screws in first. Because don't forget, we did take the screws off. So I'm going to throw those back on right now. The 8 screws that we have. Well, 4 for each. Make sure you line the screw holes up too, by the way, when you put the case halves together. I call them case halves. I know what else to call them. Hey Siri, set a 7-minute timer.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to test you guys right now. If you're an OG, you'll remember these clamps. If you're a real OG, you'll remember these clamps and why we had to get them. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the video, but I still have these. Shout out to Yef, because Yef's the one that actually bought these and left them here. He said I could have them. So, we're going to use these when the tail light comes out. I'm going to just clamp them together for a couple minutes while the butyl dries up. In the meantime, while I wait for that, for another 5 minutes, I'm going to start putting the other one back together. Alright, since I got the technique down, I got this one in really easily, actually. I think this is the first one I cut. No, this is the second one I cut open. Maybe because I did a better job at cutting this one, but this one, I got this whole reflector in very, very easily, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm gonna start laying the butyl down. This one should be done in about 2 minutes, I think. Hey Siri, show my timer.
Okay, 2 minutes and counting.
Literally 2 minutes, just like I said. So that took about a minute and a half, 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes to get this in. I mean, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to pop this reflector back in. I still took my time, you know, I was being careful, but this one I feel like it just went in so much easier. So I'm gonna start laying the butyl down and we will seal it back up. I swear I'm not gonna get tired of seeing that. Woo! Look at that. Oh, stays on. What? Hey fam. Hey fam. You'll see what fam's up to. Hey fam. Fam. Hey fam. Car wash night with the boys. Oh daddy. Oh. Yeah. Now considering I don't see any water in here, I think I did a good job sealing them. Bam. Ooh. Ooh. No water in there. No water in there, so I guess my technique worked. Let me shine a light. Hold up. Double check. Okay, I see no water, so I'm guessing we did good. Well, we did well. And now before we end this video, I just want to say a huge thank you to anyone that stayed to the end. I know this video was a little on the longer side. We're at 20 minutes right now, but I wanted to include all the details in case anyone needs to reference this in the future for some reason. If you buy an Infinity set from Illumaesthetic and you want to see the process, for your GD Subaru, this is it. This is how I did this my first time, and honestly, it was scary cutting the taillights, but it wasn't as bad as it seems. Trust me, it's not as bad as it seems. As long as you take your time and are very careful with your cuts, you'll be okay. No water leaking to the taillights using the butyl method, so that will probably be my go-to method from now on. Like to reseal taillights whenever I do more in the future, because I know Swave's gonna get some, and I don't know, maybe some of the other boys will get some too. I might add some more stuff later. So this time when I open my taillights up, I'll be able to just put them in the oven like headlights and pull them apart nice and easy. That's all I got for you for today, though. I hope everybody enjoyed this, whether you're new or not. If you're new, just hit that sub button. Do me the favor. I know people watch the videos that aren't subbed, but if you aren't subbed, join us. We're always up to something. You see what we're gonna do in the next video. Next video, we're unintentionally starting a crew. Yes, this video has already been recorded. We unintentionally started a crew. Kind of weird how it happened, but it's pretty funny. Check it out in the next video. I will catch you guys later. Drop that like and drop that sub, and I will see you. Right, sleepy cats? Cats are asleep. Alright, I'm gonna go join them now. Goodbye.
You know the definition of a passion when you have killed yourself every day to live within the lavish to manage your madness. Use entertainment that you have seeds of and planted. Now you never sleep.